Hi.
Hi. You see his nose?
No. Oh,
He was
Taco.
poking his nose under my arm.
Hi,
Say hi,
buddy.
Bubba.
You
Okay.
boy.
He wants to go outside, apparently.
Of course he does.
Oh. He saw the backhoe out there, so he's got to make sure that no one's coming to get us to, I don't know, dig a hole in the ground.
I mean,
Anyway,
he's a vicious lover.
yeah.
He will steal your food and make you very
Which one did you
sad.
get? Oh, yeah, he'll give you those eyes, like
He's so funny.
as if he's, not overfed already. How many labs are over 100 pounds? Like,
I mean, I think all of them.
well, but he's not obese. Like, he's not like a senior fat one that's like getting put on a diet. He's tall and he's thick. He's thick as fuck. And he's
Boy.
strong.
Good boy. Okay. So we are going to talk about this week for After Dark. We're going to talk about Evil Lives Here. If you haven't ever watched them, I personally enjoy those ones. Obviously because it's evil, but also because I like hearing from what not the victims that happened per se. I want to know what these people and lives were inside the house that he was living in.
Yeah, because sometimes I wonder, like, do you know that this person is insane, or
Right.
like were you totally ignorant to it? You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Like
Or
when
did you miss red
right,
flags?
when
Or
people
like,
say like I saw no signs of my husband having a full on their family and you're like, what do you mean?
yeah, like how did you not? There's
Not
no way that
yeah,
your husband was home at all times, but was he someone like your husband who was
traveling.
a
Yeah.
firefighter and often away? Like
If Braden had another family, I feel really fucking bad for him.
I also think if he had time to go on those shifts and have a whole nother family, then I want to know what secret he has because I need
What
more
do you
time in
do?
the day as well.
Yeah. How do you have two sets of families plus
Yeah.
being a busy firefighter? We
At
want
that point, I'd be like, you're holding out on a time machine or something, and I need my hands on it.
he has the necklace that Hermione Granger had.
Yes. Oh my God, dude. Can I just finish the Harry
Do
Potter
it.
series? Go.
Braden, you are a wizard. Do it. He's a
At that point, we would all, we would kick his ass for
take it.
doing that,
Take
but
and take
we would be
the
thanking
necklace.
him for having that.
Yeah. Then we would do it as well.
Yeah, then he would be we'd be like, look, you're
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
We're
You
stealing
lost
this.
your privileges,
Yeah.
obviously. You cannot be
Yeah.
trusted. Now
Yeah.
babysit the child and we're gonna go.
Yes, here's your kiddo. We're having a girls' weekend. We're having a
They're really
84-hour
yeah,
girls' weekend. Oh
so
my
funny.
God.
Okay.
Anyway.
So yes, we want to know how people live their lives being evil with families. This is about Brian Sugrim and his family. They had two children, a boy and a girl, and the wife's name is Bernadette. They were high school sweethearts, so they met when she was 16 years old. She came from a large family. She said, I've never had any type of like attention given to me from the opposite sex in a romantic way. So it was easy because when he was showering her with those things, it was easy to be like, okay,
Yeah,
it's nice.
especially when you're 16. I mean, come
Right.
on.
And then the first bomb gets dropped, and he tells her before they're married that he killed somebody, got investigated, a whole shebang, and nothing ever came of that. So, A, why didn't she?
Because she said that she believed him as well. Like she said, I believed him.
Well, right, but why did you marry him? If you,
That's what I'm saying. Like, it wasn't like she
yeah,
thought that it couldn't be possible and that he was talking out his ass. Like, she said that she believed him.
yeah.
And it's like,
Also said that she did not understand the words that were coming out of his mouth when he said it. And I understand being in that, being like, shut the fuck up, you know? Like you killed
yeah,
somebody.
yeah, I do get that, but also, shut the fuck up. What do you mean you didn't understand the words? Like,
Right.
I understand it would take time to process that 1000%. Coming from someone who started dating her now husband at 15,
Yeah.
uh, you see, you don't change like that. So this is something that she had to have seen coming from him in order to not be so fucking appalled
Right.
or just terrified. Like, it's one
Yeah.
thing to be staying because you're terrified, which she did often say, but in those early stages,
Yeah.
I would hope that my fear for myself would take over a lot more than like that guy would want to get out, is
Right.
what I'm trying to say. I would hope
You'd
a
think,
lot more than I would want to give him the benefit of the doubt that he wouldn't fucking kill me, you know?
yeah, you'd think, but I mean, A, being that immature, it's really hard to be like
Yeah, I
having
mean, her frontal
flags
lobe's not
going
even
off.
developed
Yeah,
yet.
like you don't have that trigger in your head being like, ooh, this is not
Yeah.
good. And the fact that you don't have that trigger going off, that's also not good as well.
Yeah. And I always am all like try to take the victim side. You don't want to ever victim blame.
Or
I
shame.
just victim shame, yeah. I just have a hard time understanding the signs from this man
Yeah,
were not subtle
they were
signs.
subtle. But
Like,
they happened gradually. It didn't wasn't just like bam, I killed
yeah,
somebody, plus I'm gonna kick your ass in boxing all the time, and I'm gonna freak out on you anytime you didn't do anything right, and I'm gonna start abusing the children.
yeah.
It just wasn't, it's that although we would all want that to happen and just be that blunt, it doesn't happen like that. It's all very subtle and it's all manipulation because that's the brilliant part of evil people is the fact that they can manipulate to get what they
Oh,
want.
yeah. Yeah.
It's not
And
just
I mean, she was conditioned to it.
totally.
Did they? Okay, the episode for me was kind of dragging on, so I was in and out. I tried to watch it multiple times, but did they speak on his childhood? Like what? They didn't, did they?
It's only
No.
from her perspective, the wife.
Right. Right. Because I
But
just wonder, is it possible for someone to just gradually become meaner and more evil throughout their life, or like
probably,
without any kind of abuse and I'm not even making excuses for this man because honestly, fuck him. Like that's just how I feel.
yeah, no,
But but it just trying to figure out how that even happens because so many people grow up in horrible houses
mhm,
and horrible childhoods that never could imagine abusing their wives, much less their own fucking children,
right?
you know? Much less making them all box each other and beat your daughter with a freaking stick or whatever he had.
It's she, Bernadette said when she pulled up to that house the last day, she knew something was wrong. She knew it. She felt it. Her heart sunk. She knew there was a
Yeah.
terrible thing about to happen, and she didn't know what it was. And they didn't really even say why he was acting that way towards his daughter. But the fact that he beat her over and over and over again in between rounds of boxing with his wife, and it's not fun boxing or play boxing or anything like that. He's physically getting out aggression.
No, yeah, he was using it as an excuse to beat the shit out of them.
Yeah.
with the disguise of, well, they have pads on.
Yeah.
I'm training them.
Yeah.
Okay, sir.
Training.
Actually feeding them.
Yeah. But
I
it's
don't know. It felt like
story.
to me
Oh,
that he either one, or it could be a combination of these two, I feel like. But it felt like one, the daughter, of course, is going to remind him of the wife.
yeah.
For two, either of her kids getting beat would bother a mother, you
Okay.
know? But do you think that watching her daughter, like she was able to put herself in that position a little better? Like, I don't know.
I don't know, but if I was Bernadette, I'd be very proud of Sky to run
Yeah.
and go get the police immediately because she knew it was so bad, but she knew she was going to keep getting the brunt of it. Whatever
But
happened,
also, your child, and this is me also saying, I don't want to victim shame or anything like that. But your daughter shouldn't have been the one to have to do that.
why? What do you expect a mom to do? Would you leave your son getting beat or would you stand right there?
No,
Stand right there.
that day should have never happened, is what I'm saying. The mom should have
Shoulda,
done
woulda, coulda,
something.
though. That's the thing. Shoulda,
Do
woulda,
what?
coulda. Shoulda, woulda, coulda. You
Oh,
can't.
absolutely. But that's exactly. But I imagine the shame that I would feel. Of course, I would feel proud of my daughter, but I
Yeah.
also would be like, she shouldn't have had to be the adult.
If it was Victoria, I'm telling you right now, my body would be over hers.
I'd have a gu yeah,
I
like,
would be on the verge of dying for her.
I mean, I don't know how you wouldn't,
No,
because I understand, like, maybe if you are abused that often, like, your brain maybe goes to, well, if I am dead, who's gonna take care of the children? So you just go into survival mode, even if that hurts your children. But I just can't imagine a world where I could allow and know what is going to happen and it just be repeated, 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 and it's
daily.
my children.
Yeah.
Meaning like that day, like that boxing session where when they stopped, she knew that her daughter would be beat, and it's like, we're not stopping, dude.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm not stepping aside. Like, you're gonna have to pry me off my child to beat her if you're gonna want to do that.
He's already done all the day. The last day was just the last day, you know?
Oh, absolutely.
Every day that happened, he strategically, I'm sure, kept her low.
Oh, abs I mean, yeah,
When we
she
would
had
think
been
she
low
was really
for,
good, he would love bomb her and tell her how perfect she was and blah, blah, blah. But most of the time, you have to assume that he's keeping her low. So she feels shitty, nowhere to go, can't tell anybody. All these secrets are involved, her kids
yeah,
are involved. Um, the only man she's ever loved is literally the
yeah.
puppeteer.
Which is so sad if you truly think about it. Like, she wasted
So much time.
like her whole
Yeah,
adolescent life. I mean,
yeah. Just getting just getting told how and then physically abused. I mean, that's just it's so sad. Yeah, there were signs, but he never she never witnessed a murder. She never witnessed him doing the things that he did.
yeah.
So why would she think that what he said, like, I'm gonna kill you?
I mean, I don't know. I
It's
don't know,
I
because
think
I feel like I don't really have the right to say anything about it or what I would do because I haven't been in a situation like that.
yeah.
So, all of us are like,
Would
I woulda, it's like, but would we?
don't know because I mean, I don't even know how old they were when that happened.
They were young. I mean,
No, like when the last day happened.
when was
Actually, I
that
mean,
in
um,
I really don't know. Like that interview that you sent me,
underage. she was under 18 when he told her about the first murder.
Yeah.
And then she's just like, okay.
Which is wild.
Yeah. But I mean, this is to, yeah. I mean,
The
it's just,
interview of Sky was only like how far was that after? And this video, she was like young.
she's like 11 in that video.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, the therapist that she's going to have to go to, and I mean, it truly breaks my heart. No kid should have to go through that. And then the people that are supposed to protect you are, he literally is not protecting her.
She
He's,
said it perfectly in her interview. Like, that poor girl is an adult.
unfortunately,
Yeah.
mentally. Yeah.
Like, she spoke so calm. Like, she just sounded so intelligent and like, I don't know, you can tell that she's, what do they call, like an old soul, but it's like not,
It's
I
not
wouldn't
like
say it's even a compliment because it's, she
she
had
was
to. She was
forced.
forced
Yeah.
into
She was
that.
forced to grow up fast. And
Yeah.
it's not a compliment when you're an old soul
No.
in that,
No.
in this sense.
In this sense, yes. In this sense, it means that she has trauma.
Oh my,
Yeah.
and that's really sad. But you know what? If she decides to be a mom and to start a family and stuff like that,
Yeah, I have confidence that she's someone that would be a someone that breaks generational curses.
she's gonna. I mean, that's the only thing you live for, really, is
Yeah.
to give your child literally everything. And
Well,
you can't fathom.
some parents, most parents, yes.
You can't fathom why your parents would ever. I heard a saying, and it says that if a parent says they no longer talking to their child, people are like, why? What happened? What'd they do to you? But if a child says that, well, that's your mom. You should trust. You should,
Exactly.
and it's always
Exactly.
it's always a double standard.
And
Always.
coming from a mom, I will say it now. If my kid becomes an adult and one day stops speaking to me, I am going to know that I was the fucking problem.
Totally.
I did this. I put us in the situation because no kid wants to just stop speaking to their parent because they want the drama. Like that's not a fucking thing.
No,
Like
no. If
many estranged parents need to really do some reflecting because they they don't see it and the fact that they don't see it is why your kids aren't speaking to you.
yeah, and none of this half-assed, I'm sorry for all the pain you've endured, which I've gotten that line
Or
before.
I'm sorry you feel
Yeah.
like that. Or I'm sorry I must have been a shitty mom. Like that is narcissism.
Must have been.
That's gaslighting. Like
What do you mean?
you're still gaslighting your kid by saying that, okay?
Yeah,
And the fact you don't see that is telling.
yeah. It's absolutely crazy. No child wants to every child wants to run away. Every child wants to grow up faster than they actually are. And by run away, I mean they want to move out of their house when there's rules
Yeah.
set on them, right? That's completely natural for children to want to grow.
Like
That's
teenagers, like yeah, they want to branch out.
exactly. That's completely normal. The difference is if you get shut out, what happened?
Yeah.
And why is it so easy for people to just cut people out like they never happened?
Well, and I think that's the thing is these parents do think that that is an easy decision coming from experience, not experience of cutting family members out, but experience of being the friend of people that have cut parents out. Um, it's not an easy decision, and they really fucking fight with it and within themselves, and they sacrifice their own mental health for
Mhm.
years before they make that decision.
Finally decide, like, how
So,
much more can I take?
well, once you realize that that is the only
Solution.
option to
Yeah,
help yourself is to cut your parents out, like that is the last resort. That's not something that comes
easy.
No. And that's the thing is people are like, "Ugh, oh, I didn't make her happy this one time, so she cut me out." Like, no,
Happen.
no, that didn't happen.
People forgive people all the time.
Yeah.
The
And
big
it's not just one or two things that you did throughout someone's childhood. It is a repeated thing that very obviously you couldn't fix.
no. Or you didn't even try.
You didn't even try. That is it. You could fix it. You didn't care to fix it. And that is the telling part.
Um,
But
I think that that speaks volumes as well. Like,
yeah.
doesn't even need to be talked about. But if you aren't calling your mom mom, or your children aren't knowing her as a grandma or whatever, and there's nothing being put forth, you have to look inwards.
Yeah.
Sometimes people feel bad for you, and that's why they decide to stay with you. But it's not because they value your opinion or that think that that's your mom. They're literally just keeping lines of communication open because they understand that when death happens, there is no going back.
And I get
And I'm speaking from
so
personal experience
yeah.
myself. And we will get
Yeah.
to that next month, I'm
Yeah.
sure.
Stay tuned. And I do get like worrying about how you'll feel when that person passes away. But also, I would like to just put it out there that, yeah, death happens, but also, death does happen and life is short. So are you going to sacrifice your own mental health and your own happiness
I will not.
for people that
My
continue to do this to you over and over and over again?
my my father, my dad has 100% anytime I talk to him asked if I talk to my bio mom. And I always say, "Oh, why
Yeah.
would I? Like, what is
Yeah.
wrong with you? Stop it. Stop asking." And
Yeah.
his thing is he thinks that something can be mended, and there is nothing to mend. She does
There's
not.
only something to mend if you both want something to be
Exactly.
mended.
And in
And you don't.
Sky's case, I think if she chooses to talk to him, or if she chooses to reach out to him or forgive him or whatever, good for her. But that's for
Whatever
her,
makes
not
her
for him.
heal.
It's not going to be for him. It's going to
No.
be for her and her own mental health. And that's the most important thing in the world.
Yeah.
And I'm really sorry of what happened to Bernadette and her children because that is so,
Nobody deserves that.
nobody
That's
deserves that.
horrible.
No. And it's just so,
Especially like if you really think about it, this was just a teenager who wanted to be loved
yep.
and it turned her world upside down. Like it changed her
She
whole
had
entire
a lot of
life.
family. She had two married parents that were still together and siblings and stuff like that. And
Yeah.
she obviously didn't feel comfortable talking to people about it. Or if she did, they didn't get involved or whatever the case may be. We don't know because I'm all speculating because I don't know what happened. But
Yeah.
it is very sad that two children and their mother had to go through this because he had a problem and no one said anything and
Yeah.
got away with the first murder, basically.
Yep. And, I would like to look into maybe his past because this shit does happen with parents also, like developing evil people,
See,
like,
you do.
you know, abuse. What is it? What was the saying? Um, hurt people hurt people.
Mhm.
So, whatever.
Yep. And I
But
mean,
also, that's not a fucking excuse.
it's not an excuse, but it is why we all do this. This is why moms try their hardest to come up with any other situation to make their children the best people they can possibly be.
Yeah, all I ever think about is, am I fucking him up? Is that gonna traumatize him?
Yeah. Did that no do it? No, it didn't do
Right?
it. It's not
No.
going to do it. She's going to be just fine. And
Yeah.
I try to. we've all known this, that I try to keep my nose to a minimum because I don't want her to always think that I'm going to say no. And that's like
She'll
my,
start ignoring it.
yeah. But
Yeah.
it's very hard to, I'm more of a person like, give me a reason. Don't give me a reason to say no. You know,
Yeah.
give me a reason to be like, absolutely. What can I do to help you achieve what you want to do? Because you've done so well. Like, absolutely. Let's do this. You want to do it? Absolutely. Biggest cheerleader. Let's go.
Yeah.
But if you don't help mommy clean up her toys, they're all going in. I'm just kidding. All the trash.
Listen,
Yeah.
I have been just sweeping up flashcards. I'm not gonna fucking lie. I'm sick of picking them up.
I hid
I'm
mine.
over it. They are being thrown away. I don't give a fuck if they're matching ones and we only have one. I do not care. They go in the trash now. I
If,
if they're
if she,
scattered,
if she gets to a point where she's just tossing things, I literally just put them up and we try again another time.
that's what he does is he starts tossing them, but I don't think you understand how many flashcards and shit that I have picked up. And he found our game cabinet. So Uno cards and whatever cards. I literally have been just sweeping them up. There's some under the rug that keep getting pushed out. I don't care.
I do know exactly what you're talking about. My husband pulled out Battleship, Jenga, um, Phase 10. What was the other one? Magna Tiles, Mancala. There was something else.
Magnetiles are always out in this house. He loves
Oh
them.
yeah, I just my dogs do my dogs are dogs, They do not really understand the difference between her toys and their toys. So
Falco has gotten really good at knowing, except for anything plushy. Anything
yes,
plushy. Actually, Cash has a dog that looks just like him, and I will tell when he goes into Cash's room, I tell Tyler all the time, I'm like, he's gonna come out with that dog that looks like him. And he's trotting out, he's throwing it in the air. I'm like, you freaking dummy.
yeah. Kenzie also has that problem as well, and I mean, it's okay. But you
I
know
can
what?
deal with that.
That's
But
that's itty bitty stuff. The thing that hurts me is when my child's sad because the dogs ruined her stuff, and she's mad at them, and she
well,
doesn't.
and me too, because I'm like, we just bought that. That was supposed to distract him for at least an hour today, okay?
Or Falco, he just wants to play.
Oh my gosh, I know. I need to get him another dog, but I don't think my sanity can handle it. So,
Yeah, just worry about fixing your hair. Just-
I'm not cutting it. I'm just gonna have to keep getting bigger and bigger hair clips. Bigger hair clips,
you girl, you
bigger
do you
scrunchies.
girl.
Ugh, I'm
All
over
right,
it.
until next week. And next week we are going to talk about, let me look at my handy dandy. We are doing potty training for the Real Moms, Spilty,
Mm.
and then the dark side of reality TV.
Well,
We got a
I
lot going
guess
on.
maybe I should try to potty train again so I can have real hard facts for you of my experience.
Good luck with that.
Okay, yeah, it's gonna be not fun.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
So next week.